Hi everyone, this is Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and I'm here with a quick sales video for you guys. And this is stuff that I have sold on Etsy and eBay, and it has been about 3 weeks since my last sales video, but this is still only over a 2-week period because there was a week's vacation in there, and I put both stores on vacation while I was gone. Okay, so here we have, this is Etsy, a vintage honeybee tea towel. It was unused, it still had its sticker on, and I bought this for $1 at an estate sale and sold it for $20, and it actually sold within 10 minutes of putting it up, so I guess someone really liked their honeybees. Okay, next is these vintage 1980s eyeglasses. They're just these really cool, sleek looking black rims. Only markings on them was made in Taiwan. They were prescription. Bought these for $1 at a thrift store, I believe, and sold them for $30. Next is this Best Western ashtray. It was like a yellow glass ashtray. I got this a couple of weeks back at a yard sale, and I bought this for $1.50 and I sold it for $15, I believe. Okay, this has been sitting in my store since the very beginning, and I don't know why, because it's beautiful, but it's this vintage floral plate. The only marking on it at the back was made in Germany. Right down here, and I actually ended up putting it on a spring sale, and it was so pretty with this like teal coloration here and these roses. But anyway, someone finally bought it. I bought this for $5 at an estate sale, and I sold it for $19. Oh, this was cool. This was from a thrift store not too long ago, and I bought this for $1.50. It was a necktie, and it had this is the only tag that was on it. It's woven especially for bowing, and I sold it for $33. Next was just this children's book, Jump the Rope Jingles, bunch of songs that you're supposed to sing as you do jump rope, and I bought this for 25 cents, sold it for $5. Oh, and this pin here, got this for, oh my goodness, it was like 10 cents in a lot with some other things. This sold for $9, and it went off as a gift to someone, so I offered gift wrap and a handwritten note for no extra charge to the person, and they were thrilled. This was another thing on my spring clearance sale at the moment. Picked this up for, it was about 50 cents at a yard sale, sold it for $8. Photo frame. Some Little Mermaid vintage, really cool wrapping paper here, obviously still in the plastic packaging. Picked this up for 25 cents at a church rummage sale and sold it for $12.95. This was I had to ask the person what this was, but anyway, at a yard sale, I picked this up for 25 cents. I have one more with a slightly different design still in my store, and this was a vintage hamburger press. Go figure. Had this cool chef design, and then there was burger press up here, which I guess I missed when I was first looking. And then it was made in Japan. I bought this, like I said, for 25 cents, sold it for $15. Here's a pair of vintage eyeglass frames. They were prescription. I actually sold these for, I want to say they were like $15. I sold them for, picked them up for 25 cents. But I got in touch with the person because as I was packaging, I realized two things. One, that they were prescription with this like bifocal lens down here, and I had not put that in my listing. And I had put tortoiseshell, and not tortoiseshell style, and they were definitely a plastic frame with a tortoiseshell pattern, but not actual tortoiseshell, and I just did not want to risk her being disappointed when she got them. So I contacted her, and she said it was fine, but I did offer a 20% discount because of that inconvenience, which she was thrilled with. Oh, I love this little guy. I got him for 33 cents in a big bundle of stuff I bought at a church rummage sale. He is Chip from Beauty and the Beast, and he only stood about 2 inches high. He was a really small piece, but he actually dated back to about, I want to say 93, whatever year the movie came out is where he dated back to when I did my research. But anyway, I ended up selling this to someone who was having a Beauty and the Beast themed wedding. I sold him, like I said, got him for 33 cents, sold him for $25. And she was so excited. So I'm pleased he's going on to great things. Okay, picked this up for 10 cents at a yard sale. This was obviously a dad mug, and it had this kind of rainbow writing going on with some really cool sentimental things to do with fatherhood. Yay, cha-ching in the background. And like I said, bought it for 10 cents at a yard sale, sold it for 20, I believe, and that sold within the day as I put it up. Oh, this was a big sale. This actually went to France. The poor person paid more for shipping, I think they did, than the actual thing. But picked this up for $20 at a yard sale, and it came with a whole bunch of like extra cartridges and stuff as well, as you can see here. Some unopened, some already opened. It fully worked. It was electric. It was this really neat blue color, and this sold for $100. And the last thing on Etsy is these like scalloped biscuit cutters, these vintage ones, and they were also kind of nesting. They would sit inside of one another, as you can see there. Picked them up for $1 at a yard sale, sold them for $8. Okay, moving on to eBay. This was a CPAP machine travel bag. Picked it up with a lot of other stuff at a yard sale. I don't know exactly how much this would have cost me, but anyway, I sold it for $24.99 with free shipping. Shipping actually cost me about $6, so altogether made about $18 to $19 on that. Okay, this was a left-hander baseball glove. And I had it listed at 40, and I had a bunch of really low ball offers, like we're talking like 15 and below here, with free shipping. No thank you. So anyway, I held out, and someone today gave me a best offer of $25 with them paying shipping, and that seems really reasonable to me, so I went ahead and took that offer. So this sold, and I bought it for $5 at a yard sale, and this sold for $25 with buyer paying shipping. I picked this up for $1 at a yard sale, sold for $10 best offer with the buyer paying shipping, and it was just this really cute Snoopy and Woodstock salt and pepper shaker set, and it was magnetized. It was really neat. If I had somewhere to put it, I would have kept it, but I don't, so I didn't. Sold this Minnie Mouse like Christmas themed flannel nightgown. Picked this up for $1 at a yard sale, sold it for a best offer of $7 with buyer paying shipping. This was a really cool one. I got this for $3 at a thrift store not long ago at all. It was all sealed, new old stock. I could not find anything like this anywhere. It was this like white horse and poinsettia stocking kit, cross stitch. I don't know, I'm not much of a sewer, but anyway, I put it up, and within the hour I got a best offer of $65, which I just went ahead and took, because $3 into 65 is awesome, and I have stuff to pay for. So that was a pretty cool one. Sold this Mario Party 8 game. It was complete with all of the inserts, and it was in good condition. Picked it up for $1.50 at a yard sale, and I actually took a best offer of, I think it was $19. Buyer paid shipping. So it's Victoria's Secret. It's like a crop top thing, and this was on the back. I don't know. I picked this up for 50 cents at a yard sale, sold it for a best offer of $10. This was a pair of vintage glasses, and again, my bad. As I was packaging them up, I always inspect everything, and I noticed this. This is a little imperfection that, although it is in my photographs that you can see there, I did not disclose that in my listing. So again, I went ahead and contacted the buyer because they had paid $35 for these frames, and offered them either a full refund or a partial refund if they wanted to actually for me to go ahead and ship them. The buyer was absolutely fine, said as long as they were functional, they still really wanted them. But I went ahead and refunded this buyer $10 out of the $35. So I actually got $24.99 for these. I paid a quarter for them at a rummage sale, and honestly, it was more important to me that this buyer did not feel like they had been conned when they got them, and there was this imperfection here. So that was the choice I made, and she seems happy with them so far. Sold this little set of, what are they? Junie B. Jones books, like grade school reading books. Got them for like $1 for the whole stack at a rummage sale, sold them for $10. This was a pair of vintage Pointer brand overalls, and these were big overalls, but they were really cool, and they had this like button up fly. Anyway, took a best offer of $28 because I got them for 33 cents and buyer paid shipping, so I figured that would work. Took a best offer on these for $15 because they had been sat for ages. Paid $5 for these at a yard sale, which looking back I would not pay that much again. Just Ralph Lauren kind of sneaker things happening, but yeah, it took $15 buyer paid shipping. Picked this up for 25 cents at a church rummage sale. This is a Ralph Lauren like clamshell glasses case, and it got the full off asking price there for $12.99. I paid shipping, so ended up making just short of $10 on those. Picked this up for 25 cents at a yard sale where I got the Mario games from. Fully working. I did a video as well embedded into my listing, which I'm sure helped. And I got the full asking price of $9.99 with buyer paying shipping. I got 2 Game Boy Advance Super Mario World and Mario Kart Super Circuit, and they came with this cool little actual Game Boy Advance case. I took a best offer of $20 on those and was pretty happy because they cost next to nothing to ship. Paid $5 for the lot of these. Again, I probably wouldn't do that again because the markup wasn't that good, but I actually took a best offer of $16 for those, buyer paid shipping. This was a cool one. This is a vintage Biltmore Estate, like decorative plate from North Carolina. It was really cool, and it's kind of it's got this maker here. I don't know. Anyway, I did some research and I could not find one exactly like it, but I put it up anyway, and I paid 25 cents for this plate, and it sold within the hour for a best offer of $50, which I totally took, buyer paid shipping. And then I sold this lot finally of Toy Story stuffed toys. I picked these up at a moving sale where they let me stuff a bag full of plush, and it was all like Disney plush and whatnot, for 50 cents. And so these all together were 5 cents a piece in that lot, so 20 cents you're looking at there, and I sold them for $14.99 full asking price with buyer paying shipping. An original Nintendo NES controller there. It is untested, which I put in my listing. Full asking price, buyer paid shipping. Funnily enough, when I picked this up at a church rummage sale for $1, it came in a new NES controller, like a not retro one box. So I thought, oh, whatever. And then when I took it out, it actually said made in Japan on the back, and I looked into it, and it was one of the original ones. So whether or not they replaced one, that's fine. But I obviously disclosed that it was untested, and I also put in there about this was more than likely to be used as a craft material. Mario Kart took a best offer, I think, of like $18 for this, buyer paid shipping. And then the last one was this Mount Tiki-Soki sprinkler thing that, again, I put a video embedded into my eBay listing, and it's like a water game thing. I don't know. The person is thrilled with it, and they paid full asking price, which was $75, and them paying shipping, and I paid $3 for this at a yard sale, so be on the lookout for these. All right, and that is everything today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have some fun sourcing, like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.